this was the end of the first 12-team playoff, obviously. And it was different, this year. What are your overall thoughts just on the expanded playoff format and how the games went and how everything turned out?
It's kind of a mixed bag. I have no problem with it being 12 teams. I just think the execution of how they put the playoff together didn't meet expectations, right? The best part of all of the playoffs was the on-campus first round. That was absolutely far and away the best part of the playoffs. Having most of the games, as bowl games, I understand why they want to do that, but it's not good for the fans. And honestly, it's not good for television because you're asking fans to travel a lot if they're going to go. Like, if you got to go to New Orleans and then you got to go maybe to California or Miami. I mean, that's a lot of travel, for games like that. And you saw it on TV. There was a lot of empty seats in a lot of these games, and you would have never seen that in the BCS era or even the 14 playoff, I mean, that was kind of a downer, for me. But overall, I like the 12-team playoff. I do wish it would go down to 8. I think 8 would have been perfect, but that's never going to happen now.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think this first year had some ups and downs. On campus games were awesome. It was great to see that type of atmosphere. I think the mistake, like you said, is having those quarterfinal games and bowl games. I think one thing they need to immediately try to address is to get those quarterfinal games also on campus. Give those teams that won their conference championships or who are the top ranked teams that get the bye, give them something about having that bye. Not only do they get a bye, but also they get a home playoff game and build the momentum with their team and their fans. I think that's good. I think the scheduling overall kind of sucked, to be honest with you. You had periods of long waits and then short waits and then long waits. And it really, really made it feel like you didn't always know what in the next game was. And one thing that I've seen, the sentiment that I see all over the place this last week, and I kind of felt the same thing was I wasn't that excited for this national championship game. And not just because Georgia wasn't in it. I'm normally excited. I love college football and I love watching the championship game. I just wasn't feeling it. And I saw that online too. A lot of people were like, I just don't care. And I think the term that's been thrown out, and somebody said this, and I really think it's true, just felt college football fatigue. So many games, so much to follow, such a weird schedule, games all over the place. It just, by the end, I was just kind of tired. The game's going on. You have the NFL, which usually takes over this time of year, and you're trying to have these games scheduled around them to not interfere. And then the game being on a Monday night after you had NFL playoff games on Friday or on Saturday and Sunday, it just kind of, I don't know, it just took the sales out of it. So long term, I think they need to fix it. I know the NFL has said that they're willing to work with college football in their scheduling. They need to get the college football national championship game on Saturday. Saturday is the day that college football is played. They need the national championship game to be played on Saturday. And they need to work out a way that the NFL gives them that day. NFL can still have playoff games early in the day, make the game at night. But this Monday night stuff, after all of that, just to me didn't work.
Yeah, hopefully they fix the scheduling, really just have it later. Just push it later. There's a week between the conference champion or division championship games. No, not division. Yeah, conference championship games and the NFL. Both, and then you got a week off and then the Super Bowl. So I know you've said this before. That would be the perfect time to play the national championship.
Yeah.
And either that or the rest.
Yeah, either that or, and I know somebody Feinbaum said it, and people didn't like that he said it, but the Army-Navy game, as much as we love the Army-Navy game, that is a wasted weekend.
Absolutely. Someone had a good idea. Like, they should just play that first week of the season.
They should play that. That should be week 0. That should be the only game week 0. That's how the season should start. That would be
awesome.
my solution. And then what you do is, because instead of, giving advantage to these teams that don't have to play in their conference championship games to get these nice long breaks with no pressure until their first home playoff game or whatever, have them have to go out and play right after the conference championship game. Gives them advantage to that team that won the conference championship that they don't have to play next week. In the NFL, you don't get a week off until you're in the Super Bowl. So align it that way and move that front end up and keep it consistent. Play every weekend. Keep the games on Saturday and play them every weekend and keep the season running. And then, heck, you know what? That might help you fix the problem with the portal and with signing day. Because one of the things about the portal is they want the kids to be able to be enrolled for spring semester to their new schools. Well, if you've got the season ending before, the first week in January, which is when the national championship game used to be, then guys could still go in the portal and transfer. They wouldn't have to transfer and go in the portal on their teams if they're still playing in the playoff because they're worried about not being able to transfer.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to have a whole show about how we're going to fix college football. We've got the pencil or the pen, and we're going to fix all of college football's problems.
Yeah. So just kind of,